Welcome, everyone, to the Vision Untethered podcast and our special edition of Implementer Untethered, featuring EOS implementers who have worked with hundreds of founders and leadership teams, have the real behind the scenes perspective on what entrepreneurs struggle with as they scale. My name is Jill Simonds, founder and CEO of Savvy. We help business owners scale confidently with a fractional C suite that delivers immediate results and increased value for growing companies. My amazing guest today, an EOS implementer, is Neal. Neal is a two-time founder and entrepreneur, has made transition to professional EOS implementer, a longtime member of Entrepreneurs Organization. He has been deeply immersed in the day-to-day challenges of building great businesses for almost 3 decades. Very much a visionary, Neal was more than happy to reinvent many wheels over the years. Experience has shown him just how much he had undervalued certain basics of business. It's in embracing these basics that has made life and business so much more fun and manageable. His mission now is to open other entrepreneurs' eyes to the basics much sooner than he came to appreciate them. Neal, thank you so much for being here and being our guest today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, Jill, for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive in with you. I've been in the session room with you once, and yeah, I think it'll be interesting to hear your perspective on some of the common themes and struggles among teams. Yeah.
Well,
So,
yeah, go right ahead.
all right. So, after working with founder-led companies, business ownership yourself too, what's the most common pattern that you see that holds founders back as they scale?
They're they're high competence. They're highly capable people, and
Mm.
and that's what gets them past the first gate of growth. Is, oh,
Mhm.
I'll put it all on my back and I'll use my capabilities because I'm a highly capable person to be a superhero,
Right.
and they risk burnout. Um, then they start hiring because they realize their bandwidth is limited. And now, in addition to being, probably a good technician at whatever technical work is associated with their business,
Hmm.
now they have to be a leader and a manager, and they have to
Right.
communicate. Uh, they have to over communicate. We know that you got to say something 7 times for it to stick once. And they're used to just
Hmm.
kind of cutting to the chase and spitting out directions and orders and ideas, and thinking that people are just going to grab them and run with them, and then it inevitably leads to some disappointment, and there can be a cycle of hiring and firing, or
Hmm.
avoiding the tough conversations of not doing the work to stay on the same page, and getting pretty
Right.
frustrated.
Yeah. So true. Yeah. Sometimes the very strengths in what got us here, will no longer get us to that next stage. The very strengths and competencies end up being a double-edged sword when it comes to truly expanding beyond ourselves, expanding and growth of the team. So,
And the paradox that I see a lot is business owners who say they want to create a self-managing team where they can just, focus on their
mhm,
own unique ability, and the team actually
right.
runs the business day to day. They say they want that, yet they put on their superhero cape and they jump in and rescue the team whenever they feel like something is some combination of urgent and important,
Mm,
and they don't let the team become that
right.
that self-actualized group that can actually fulfill that vision.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, we end up stepping right over it, right? And that opportunity.
And
What's
it's hard to know sometimes when, you know, there's always crucible moments where we have to step up and maybe do things that are not normal in order to
mhm,
get through um, an interesting challenge or opportunity.
mhm,
But that can't be the norm. That can't be you
Right.
you, you got to call it out as like, this is exceptional. We're going to get back to some baseline. And so, but a lot of
Hmm.
times that exception becomes the rule.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely can. What is the hardest lesson that owners eventually face about themselves as leaders?
Mm, it's hard for me not to just go right to uh, my answering it from my own perspective as a leader. Like, I think for a
Hmm.
long time, I felt like I needed to be the smartest person in the room.
Hmm.
And it was only by surrounding myself with people who were a lot smarter than me that
Right.
things got done and that
Hmm.
growth happened. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's probably a pretty common one.
Hmm.
Um, there's just some spirit of independence that comes with founders, and
Sure. Yeah.
and and sometimes it comes out of intellect where they have a different idea that they want to bring to the world.
Hmm.
Uh, Sometimes it just comes from a really fierce sense of independence. Like, I'd rather work for myself than somebody else. And you don't realize that that's the toughest boss you're ever going to have. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
and
Yeah, isn't that true?
so sometimes it's letting go of something. It's letting go of needing to be the smartest person. It's letting
Hmm.
go of being the person who needs to sign the check for $100 expenses. I don't need to be central to, so many things.
Hmm.
That I definitely think that my life as an entrepreneur and maybe just as a human being has been one of every year pruning some things out. Like,
Right.
just partially getting more and more to the essential,
Hmm.
but also forcing growth, because like, you can't do that anymore, bud. You got to do the new thing. You got to create space for the new thing
Hmm.
to develop.
Yeah.
And so and partially for the greater good. Like, if
Hmm.
you're actually trying to grow a really good team, sometimes you got to let go of certain things, because when you look at the structure of your organization, it's like, I'm not the person who should be doing that. Like, I have
Hmm.
other responsibilities, and the only way I can do those things is if
Right.
somebody else
Somebody
does.
else and does it better, more better, or innovates it, or owns it in a better
Hmm.
way than I could have. And they're smarter at it. It's in a specialty that I don't have nor want.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And to get that kind of clarity of, this
Hmm.
this is no longer for me, it's for somebody else, it
Hmm.
only takes about 2% of a leader's time to to get and maintain that clarity.
Hmm.
EOS, to do EOS purely, you're going to go offsite with your team 5 days a year. That's less than
Hmm.
2% of the year.
Hmm.
And if you add in the 90 minutes that you spend with your weekly L10 meetings, where two-thirds of that session is focused solely on IDSing issues and knocking down your short-term issues as the year progresses.
Right.
If you combine those two together, I mean, what? It's 3.5% of your year that informs the other 97%, 96.5% of your year, and has your leadership team in great
Hmm.
alignment. And if they're
Yeah.
doing their jobs as leaders, they're aligning even deeper through the departmental levels of the organization. And
Hmm.
that is that's leverage. When you have
Hmm.
people actually aligned and really
Yeah.
rowing in the same direction, that's real leverage.
Yeah. Putting it in that time comparison too. I haven't heard that before, thought of it that way. So thank you. It takes 80/20 and puts it on steroids, like a 5% that we can often excuse as things that, all the other minutia and the noise can allow us so sucked in from that vital time it takes us to gain clarity and alignment to move forward as leaders makes, yeah, the majority of the impact for where you're going.
I can't quote him verbatim, but James Clear regularly
Yeah.
posts this phrase about how thought work is hard work. The
Hmm.
organization that finds a better way of doing something, and now all of a sudden they can capture that efficiency, in perpetuity moving forward or well into the future. That's that's valid hard work. It shouldn't be about brute force. Like if there's
Hmm.
a more elegant way of doing things,
Hmm.
that's taking that time to step away and and look at the organization as this object that can be shaped and improved and revised is an opportunity that too few entrepreneurs take advantage of. They just
Yeah.
get caught in that hamster wheel of the day to day.
Yeah.
We just got if we're not doing, if we're not, if you don't go home spent, somehow you're not trying hard enough or something. And you got to redefine what it means to leave it all on the field. Some
Mm.
days it means really cracking open your brain and and leveraging. There is a wisdom of crowds mechanism that happens at the leadership team level
Hmm.
where it's not just about ideas, it's about when you surround yourself with hardworking people that you have mutual trust with, they don't
Hmm.
let you lie to yourself. They don't
Yeah.
you can't set a rock that doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
Whether it's from a smart perspective, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound, or whether from a strategic perspective. Like that's
Yeah.
not the thing that's going to get us where we're trying to go.
Mm.
And like it they don't let you off the hook. And that's a form of love, I think.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The best kind, right? Tough love, not letting anyone
Hmm.
off the hook. And this is the standard. And yeah, love that.
That's a the recently I'm drawing a blank on his name. The recently stepped down coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers,
Mm.
uh, Mike
Yeah,
Tomlin.
I don't know. Okay.
He
I'm
he
like,
would often say in
I'm
press
not gonna help
conferences,
you out there.
the standard's the standard. The
Mm.
standard is the standard.
Hmm.
I used to tell my kids when we're running late to some after school event, hey, I didn't invent time. I didn't invent it. It's there and we have to
Yeah.
work with it.
Yeah. We all have to. So there's not any exception to that standard, an exception to that rule. Very good. Yeah. At what point do founders start to become the bottleneck that you typically see? What does that usually look like?
I've had a lot of focus days this year, which is one of my favorite sessions in the EOS process.
Hmm.
And inevitably, on focus day,
Hmm.
you see the owner sitting in multiple seats.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, okay, here's our first issue for the issues list.
Hmm.
Accountability chart's pretty early in that day's agenda. And so you get that leadership level draft, and it's like, oh, look, here you are in a couple seats. These are both full-time jobs. You're doing two
Hmm.
full-time jobs right now. Are you doing
Yep.
them as well as what could happen if two individuals sat in those seats? And it's like that's a really easy first conversation.
Hmm.
And I guess an extension of that accountability chart conversation is you define the five key roles of those seats, and you realize prior to this accountability chart existing, the owner probably had their fingers in what now are multiples, even seats beyond the ones that their names are on. Like I used to do some of this over here and that over there.
Hmm.
And it's like, oh, wait, yeah. It's the first awakening of the fact that they need to let others do certain things.
Mm. Yeah. Get out of their own way. Yeah. And
And
then, yeah, go ahead.
I think one way that we can help founders get comfortable with delegation is by getting a good draft of a scorecard.
Hmm.
If you can let go of something but still keep an eye on certain key metrics that are happening
Yeah.
or not happening, it's like, okay, I let go of that thing and it's still happening. It's like, okay, now I can breathe a little bit. And then they build a confidence to let go of the next thing and keep elevating their purpose and delegating more
Hmm.
responsibility to a team that's, you know, raising
Right.
its capabilities.
I love how you started with the scorecard there, because one thing we see often as a fractional C-suite is how many how many organizational structures, accountability charts are built on tasks, built
Hmm.
on task-based roles.
Hmm.
And that perspective shift and that change in the outcomes or the results or the movement through the business that this role is responsible to doing,
Hmm.
starting with the scorecard. It's what is it we're trying to drive here? What is it that, every week these are the actions, activities, behaviors, swings we are taking every single week
Hmm.
in order to produce XYZ. That is a role, right? There's an owner of that number. And
Hmm.
oftentimes I think, we start with there's so I mean, delegate and elevate as a tool, and just wrapping your mind around looking at that bottom percentage of things that don't fill us up, don't energize us. We're probably exhausting more energy than somebody else would properly positioned to handle this type of work would be able to accomplish, is a
Hmm.
great starting point. But I love that you started with the scorecard. Start with the data. What's the action and activity in consistency each week, that
Hmm.
this thing is dependent upon me right now or whoever, and it doesn't
Hmm.
belong there. It doesn't fit
Hmm.
there. Where does it go? That's vital, because then we're getting away from task-based roles and looking at
Hmm.
things from, your role, your seat is ever evolving as the demands and the needs of the business evolve. And
Hmm.
what may have been your accountability 6 months ago have transformed based on the fact that, oh, to own this role, to really own the outcomes that this position brings and contributes to the growth of the company, may not be the same exact accountabilities a couple months from now. And so that ever evolving, right? It's like you
Hmm.
don't just handle this task to check it off. It's you really own the evolution, the innovation, the growth of that role too.
Hmm. Hmm. And that that's the magic word is growth. Virtually no team starts down the path of EOS that doesn't want to grow.
Hmm.
And so the scorecard, if you do it right, is like two-thirds it's leading activities. It's what are the things that are in our control that will drive growth. And then the other third can be financial health metrics, can be quality control metrics, customer satisfaction metrics, probably some process metrics so that we can see that as we're getting more orders and customers and sales volume, that our productive capacity is
Hmm.
expanding to meet that.
Mm,
And it's a massage, right? Like
yeah.
sometimes you can get customers faster than your team can keep up with
Hmm.
fulfillment, and you get some back orders, and you have to massage that. You have to triage it and sometimes solve it in a kind of improvisational way before you can codify a new process
Hmm.
or get new capacity, whether it's people or software or machinery to like, okay, how are we
Yeah,
gonna do more of our core focus?
exactly. Exactly. Love it, Neil. Super helpful. So, quick lightning round. So, this is just sheer, pure spitfire, the, first thing in short, phrase, sentence that, or even one word, if you're so bold as to single it down to that. But the first thing that comes to mind. So, the first one is one leadership behavior that founders must stop doing.
Hmm. I guess the word that comes to mind is talking.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, what's funny is Jake Wells was on our show a few weeks ago. He said the exact same answer.
yeah, more listening.
Yeah. Listen more. He was like, just shut up.
Hmm.
Do you know Jake
I
in
don't.
Boulder?
I don't.
Oh,
But
okay. I'm like, oh, you need to know each other. Yeah, he's Boulder area EOS implementer, Boulder, Colorado.
I'm going to be out your way in August, so we'll talk offline
Okay.
about maybe connecting.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. I'd love that. Okay, yeah, and then can get the two of you synced up as well. You both are in good company. One thing every leadership team needs more of.
Vulnerability.
Mm,
Really own your insecurities. Tell your teammates what you're fearful of in terms of letting them down or getting certain things done.
yeah.
Turning achievement into a team game rather than an individual heroic event.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, all on the same team. This is a team sport.
Hmm.
That's a good one. All right, and then lastly, one mistake that business owners repeat again and again.
Waiting too long to offboard wrong people.
Oh, yeah, holding on to the wrong people too long. Mm-hmm.
I've totally done it.
Mm-hmm.
It when you have an ownership mentality, you just think, I brought them in. It's my job to make them the right person. It reminds me of a story of a piano player. I think it was Herbie Hancock, but some jazz piano player who used to play with Miles Davis told
Okay.
us told a story of him being kind of young and less experienced than Miles and kind of intimidated by Miles. And he played a
Mm,
wrong note during a performance.
mm-hmm.
And Miles gave him a look. And and then Miles played a note with his horn that made the wrong note played by the piano player actually a right note.
Mm,
And it was the lesson is that like it's so you can make mistakes, but it's what you do after the mistake is made
yeah,
that determines whether or not it was a right note or not. And
totally.
I think if you're a master, there's no such thing as a right note. You just respond to the last note with the next note
Yeah.
and you keep showing your mastery. And
Yeah.
as it relates to the people question, it's like once you've played the wrong note, don't keep playing the wrong note.
I love that. That story actually reminds me. So, our youngest is a dancer competitively.
Hmm.
A few weeks ago at their competition, the stage needed to be set up in such a way they have a prop that is a runway. This is a supermodel song, right? So
Hmm.
they're all on this runway. It's adorable. I can send it to
Hmm.
you because it has won awards at every one of their competitions. Well, this particular competition, the set crew started the music prior to them all being in their positions. They are supposed to be on stage first. Well, the music starts, none of them are on stage yet. So these are 9 and 10-year-old girls. The way they improvised to make it seem like we all knew, like we've seen this dance a million times. We're like,
Hmm.
oh, they started the music. Oh my God, wait, like all of us who know the routine. And it wasn't until afterwards that just with some of them looking at each other and trying to improvise very quickly, but they just kept going. The judges asked, like, did we mess up? Did we get, because they could tell just by slight, subtle nuances.
Hmm.
They won, not only did they win first place and from the judges' criteria for that set, but they also won an award that they called the Show Must Go On Award.
Hmm.
And they may have created it, right? It was adorable. It may have
Hmm.
created it that day. But the lesson that it taught these young girls of like, it was not about the mistake. You could have been like, wait, stop, start
Yeah.
over, and it was like, they all worked together so well to just
Hmm.
figure it out. And the
Hmm.
way that they just kept smiling and kept going, I was like, oh, I'm getting emotional. I'm like,
Hmm.
that is what it's about. Because it's never about the mistake. It's
Right.
about how you all group together and be like, what do we do with this? This is what we're
And
doing.
that's it. I think that's life in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
Yeah.
I I now embrace the notion of you either win or you learn. Like
Yeah.
there's no such thing as losing. It's what you do with just because you
Yeah.
didn't get the outcome you were seeking.
Right.
Like you can be disappointed, but like
Hmm.
the reality is like, wait, I just didn't do what was required for that outcome.
Yeah.
What do I learn from it so that the next time I'm striving for either this particular outcome or something similar, it's like, okay, I'll be more prepared.
Yep.
You got to learn.
Yeah. You've got to. And it is painful. But then what that also sets us up well for in the future, if we learn from that instead of harbor it or perseverate,
Mm-hmm.
is so powerful. So, in any journey, regardless of, yeah, business ownership or how we show up, it's a lesson that I'm thankful that my kids are getting some of those opportunities earlier in life to learn through some of that I
The
didn't feel
sooner
like
the
I had the
better.
opportunity. Yeah, and it's
The
like,
sooner
oh,
the better. Some of my
yeah.
some of the longest fallow periods of my career were me just beating myself up over mistakes or falling short. And with enough time and perspective, it's just like, get over it. Like, the, I mean, time is precious. So
Hmm.
the sooner you can bounce back from a setback,
Yes.
the better. Just
Right.
it literally once it is 1 second in the past, it could be 100 years in the past. It doesn't matter. It's back there.
Yeah. It's already behind us. There's no changing it. No matter how much you
Yeah.
try to,
Yeah.
like, every which way, it's like, hey, what could have been better about that? Next time this scenario, next time this instance,
Yeah.
next time I'm faced with that thing, this is what I'll do differently. And you
Yeah.
you have to go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Neal, thank you so much for joining us today, for your wisdom, your insights, the impact that you're making in the community of business owners around you. It does not go unseen. If people want to find more about Neal Bell, where is the best place to find you and to get in contact?
Well, I'm one of those lucky people who bought their name as a domain name. So you can go to nealbell.com and see all about my coaching practice. And
Great.
Neal is spelled Neal, and then Bell is Bell. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
All right. Check them out. Thank you again for being here. And everyone listening, thank you for being our honorable guests every week. We will talk to you next time.